The Halo system assists me in achieving godhood in Western fantasy. Synopsis. This is a Western fantasy of divine lords, magic, and multiple races set in a Middle-earth inspired world. This is not a wish fulfillment story. The first few chapters unfold at a slower pace. The protagonist rapidly develops his domain, meets a beautiful fox-human merchant, a catgirl with the bloodline of the beast god, and a silver-haired paladin of divine punishment, eliminates a cult spying on his territory and thwarts the conspiracy of an evil god. In the middle part, the story focuses on establishing organizations and advancing technology, setting out on a path of conquest while uncovering the world's deeper truths. This world is inhabited by myriad races and species: the graceful elves, the sturdy orcs, the resolute dwarves, and the cunning humans. The protagonist Linde crosses into this foreign continent and discovers himself. Setting. There is a rough map of the novel in the author's notes. Everyone is welcome to view it. Races. Humans. Most humans are physiologically incapable of using magic, but their basic physical attributes are roughly 30 stronger than those in the real world. Some humans carry bloodlines from other races, diluted or mixed. Those with traces of other races in their lineage can often learn or comprehend certain magics or skills associated with those races, known as warlocks. Additionally, some pure-blood individuals are naturally attuned to magic, thus giving rise to mage-like professions. Most of the remaining humans become basic physical professions such as warriors, hunters, or thieves. Humans have no reproductive isolation from most other species, possess strong vitality and flexible thinking, have an average lifespan of about 60 years, limited technological development, large populations, multiple faiths, several nations, and experience occasional wars. Dwarf. Unlike humans of mixed blood, dwarves are an independent race with base physical strength approximately 80 greater than that of humans in the real world. They are also heavy in weight and highly resistant to impact, very short in stature, generally just over half the height of humans. They have innate resistances to toxins and fire, grow thick beards, favor metal goods, enjoy strong spirits brewed by humans, worship the god of metal and forging in the divine forging arts, can enchant equipment imbuing it with great power. Dwarves are not adept at cultivating crops. Instead, they cultivate a type of metal-like crop with great hardness that most other races cannot consume. They possess advanced metal smelting techniques, and most powerful metal goods are crafted by dwarves. Their technological level is roughly equivalent to that of humans. Their lifespan is somewhat longer than humans, approximately 70 to 80 years. Their population size is moderate, concentrated primarily within a single nation with multiple factions, and internal conflicts are relatively rare. Elf. An elegant and beautiful race as humans perceive them. They revere the god of nature and coexist harmoniously with the natural world. They harness potent natural divine magic to develop and protect themselves. Their physical strength exceeds that of real-world humans by about 30. They possess long lifespans, naturally living around 300 years. Their physical self-healing ability is approximately 80 faster than that of humans in the normal world. They have outstanding adaptability to natural divine arts. Even the most basic form of natural communication is known to all. They also maintain advanced agricultural and animal husbandry techniques. However, due to their faith and intrinsic reasons, they prefer to reside in forests. Elves from forests of varying climates differ slightly in physique and customs. Elves are innate scouts and rangers with eyesight so keen that night appears as bright as day. Their technological level is somewhat inferior to that of humans, and their population remains relatively sparse. Orc. A half-human, half-beast race possessing certain bestial features on a human skeletal frame. Most worship the beast god, and the majority of orcs have physical strength approximately 30 greater than that of humans in the real world. The primary tribes include catfolk, rabbitfolk, avians, dogfolk, foxfolk, minotaurs, boarfolk, and gnolls. Each tribe is primarily organized by clan, with tribes as smaller units. They have established the Orc Alliance, a feudal confederation in which cats, rabbits, avians, dogs, and foxes are considered high-tier orcs, while minotaurs, boarfolk, and gnolls form the lower-tier orcs. The main social structure is a loose chieftainship system with the 5 great high-tier orcs deliberating jointly. The orc populations are numerous, spread across various regions of the world as indicated on the map. Each race holds unique traits. For example, the Avarial possess feathered wings and are naturally gifted with flight. Their lifespans are roughly equivalent to those of humans with minimal difference. Overall, the technological level remains rather primitive while the populations are large. Religious faith is weak. Nonetheless, some races exhibit frenzy skills unique to their nature. The number of magic practitioners is limited. Merfolk. They inhabit islands far from the mainland about which the continental races know very little, encountering them only sporadically. The continent is vast and ship technology extends only to nearshore waters with no developments in deep-sea navigation. A solitary legend speaks of the merfolk living near a great island. They have human upper bodies and fishtails, swim with remarkable speed, and seem to exhibit signs of civilization. Their technological level and lifespan remain a mystery. History. Evolution of human nations. The once glorious empire of the eastern continent was divided into 3 states due to the conflict between ecclesiastical and imperial powers, with the Pope establishing the Bode diocese, also known as the theocracy. The glorious royal family founded the Gothic Empire, confined to the southwestern border of the theocracy, while the original Grand Duke of Oak declared his own sovereignty and established the Grand Duchy over 2 centuries. By a fortunate coincidence, the Grand Duchy discovered a route across the Hurricane Sea and sailed far across the ocean to the far side of the continent, the Western Continent. Upon discovering that the Western Continent also housed a human empire, the Sass Empire, within 100 years after the Grand Duchy's arrival, it seized vast stretches of the Sass Empire's coastal territories. This provoked internal turmoil within the Sass Empire. Meanwhile, the northern Grand Duke Kelly unified the northern lands and established the Kelly Empire. After many years, the Sass Empire, the Duchy of Oak, and the Kelly Empire came to stand as three dominant powers within the last century. The reigning Grand Duke Kelly led his forces southward, annexing vast territories of the Sass Empire. His advance was relentless, reaching all the way to Gross, the fortress city of the Sass Empire. Having breached the fortress city using Legion magic, disputed, the royal family of the Sass Empire signed a ceasefire agreement with Grand Duke Kelly, ceding the extensive undeveloped lands beyond Fortress Mountain. This event established the current configuration of the human states. The detailed histories of other races will be addressed in later volumes, as they are not critical at present. Including a map of the world's situation in the author's notes might make it clearer for everyone. Chapter 1: A New Arrival. At the end of the year 3470 in the Holy Light calendar, Count Truk led in a bedroom within the Count's castle. Sigh. The black-haired youth sitting at the desk closed his yellowed notebook and let out a heavy sigh. The youth then sank back into the soft chair as the crystal chandelier above the desk quietly cast a gentle glow. This is troublesome. The youth scratched his somewhat disheveled hair with a perplexed expression. The young man's given name is Linde. He is a native of this other world, but due to a twist of fate he was severely wounded and as a result awakened the memories of his past life. To be precise, it was only after crossing over that he truly awakened the memories of his former existence. In his past life, calamity struck from the very beginning. Born an orphan on the Blue Star, he was raised in a welfare home. Innately strong-willed, he studied diligently and eventually managed to secure a respectable position as an art student. Life gradually improved and Linde thus experienced a period of profound happiness. Thus, on an extraordinarily ordinary journey home, a meteorite radiating a mysterious purple light descended from the sky, striking him with unerring precision like a bolt of lightning as he drove. The previous life came to an abrupt end. To be precise, due to this meteorite his soul traversed into a fantastical world, and it was only after a significant event recently that Linde awakened his memories. Linde sat up straight from the soft chair back and began to recall the events of nearly a year since his memory awakening. When he first awakened, Linde found himself lying on a sickbed. Because of the confused fusion of memories from his past and present lives, he could not understand what those around him were saying. At that moment, Linde's body was wrapped in bandages and coated with various strange potions, lying on a large bed. The experiences of his two lives gradually merged like files loading slowly. Linde began to comprehend the speech of those nearby. From the servant's manner and words, Linde recalled that he had transmigrated into the body of the second son of a count's residence. During a hunting excursion, Linde was struck by a bolt of purple lightning, sustaining severe injuries, yet from this misfortune came a blessing as he regained the memories of his previous life. The accompanying knights hurriedly brought the gravely wounded Linde back to the castle for urgent medical treatment. Thankfully, the timely care saved Linde's life. Both the Linde of his past life and his present one bore the same visage as if carved from the same mold, except for those striking violet eyes that drew all attention. Linde learned through a servant's account that the pupils were originally a normal color, but after being struck by lightning they changed in appearance. The superstitious servants all claimed this was a blessing from the Holy Divine. After gradually assimilating the memories of his current life, Linde was astonished to discover that the vast continent he had crossed into, known as Till, was inhabited by a diverse array of races. The dominators of this world are not only humans but also dwarfs, elves, various orcs, and even the legendary lord-class magical beasts including dragons. This greatly excited Linde, who in his previous life had enjoyed Western fantasy works and the hardcore game Mount Blade. What he had only experienced in games could now be lived firsthand. However, after Linde recovered from his injuries, he found his current situation somewhat awkward. The Kelly Empire, where he resided, had just concluded a war with the neighboring Sass Empire and remained in a tense state where conflict could easily resume. As the victorious side, the Kelly Empire acquired vast fertile lands in the south and many meritorious nobles were granted new territories. Among them was the Count's residence, to which Linde belonged. Linde's Count father is named Bruce Truk. He is a formidable warrior of the Kelly Empire, commanding true authority over the 2nd Legion, and has aided the king in securing multiple decisive victories against the Sass Legion. During the decisive siege of the Wall campaign, the Count fought valiantly, earning distinguished merits and receiving rewards from Grand Duke Kelly. After the war, the Count resigned from his post as Legion commander, which was then assumed by his trusted deputy, while he returned to his domain to govern affairs from behind the scenes. The Count has 3 children in total. The eldest son, Karl Truk, currently serves in the Knight Order of the Kelly Empire. The second son is Linde Truk, and there is also a young daughter, still a minor, named Nad Truk. Linde combed through the memories of his current life and realized he held none of his family in particularly high regard. The hot-tempered and violent Count father, the lecherous eldest brother, the greedy younger sister, while he considered himself the relatively normal one, at least by comparison. comparison. According to the order of succession, the eldest son Karl will inherit the old count's county while he will be granted a fiefdom and set apart independently. At the thought of this, Linde grew concerned. 6 months ago, upon reaching maturity, the old count formally bestowed upon him the lands won in previous battles, granting him the title of baron over the new territory. Although it is only a minor baronial title, the area of land granted is actually as large as that of a viscountcy. He must arrive at his fief to assume his post within 6 months of the grant, and considering travel time, he must depart within a week. Linde extinguished the chandelier and lay back on the bed, his mind swirling with countless thoughts. Over the past few months, he has recruited useful individuals throughout the territory under the identity of the count's second son. Blacksmiths, carpenters, masons, most have been gathered. The 2,000 serfs he painstakingly assembled within the territory are now all present, stationed outside the count's castle. Supplies and baggage are fully prepared, awaiting only his command. The old count had specially assembled a 50-man bronze guard for him, drawn from the elite soldiers of the count's residence. These bronze warriors are loyal and valiant knights devoted to the count's house. The leader of this troop was the young knight Astaire, who had previously saved Linde. He was deeply loyal to the count's residence, leaving a very favorable impression on Linde. After Linde was injured, he visited every day, further strengthening this favorable impression. With these thoughts, Linde touched his chest, where a striking scar remained. The lightning strike at that time had left a massive scar on Linde. After awakening, the scars gradually faded until they came to appear as they do now. A scar ran from his left shoulder to his chest, as if the lightning from the heavens had been etched upon his flesh. As Linde's finger brushed over it, the scar glowed faintly with a purple light, then gradually faded. Linde was helpless. In the 11 months since awakening, he had not ceased searching for secrets regarding the purple meteorite and the scar. At first he had hoped the scar would cause a mutation, granting him supernatural abilities, but in the end it yielded nothing. Night after night he scoured the count's residence library, seeking any clue about the meteorite that brought him here, only to return empty-handed each time. Just as Linde had completely lost all hope on a night a week ago, an enigmatic sensation arose in his mind. This feeling foretold that something would occur exactly 1 week later, which is now. As the premonition in his mind intensified, Linde closed his eyes, allowing his spirit to enter an entirely new realm. The sensation was peculiar, as if one had plunged into a tide composed of bubbles drifting along with the current until the surrounding waters settled into silence. Linde opened his eyes, and the world before him was as silent as darkness, yet suffused with vibrant multicolored hues. These colors teemed with life, yet were profoundly tranquil. What is this place? How did I end up here? Linde knew the omen in his mind had already come to pass, so he began to search for the culprit. He soon discovered the stone resembling the meteorite that had nearly crushed him, quietly floating in midair and emitting a silent purple glow. The stone emitted a peculiar resonance. It was unlike speech, yet Linde could comprehend its meaning. Halo system has been activated. Linde, Chapter 2. What halo? What the hell? Linde stepped back, intending to distance himself from the meteorite that had once ignited his imagination, but to his surprise the meteorite floated along and followed him. System activated, please confirm host. Linde asked. What exactly are you? Back on Blue Star, Linde had read numerous crossover novels containing countless treacherous systems that often led to their host's demise. The stone that called itself the system said nothing more. Linde fixated on the faint purple glow before him, then surveyed the surroundings, which resembled a Van Gogh painting. It seems there is no other option. Steeling his resolve, Linde clenched his teeth and grasped the purple meteorite firmly. In an instant the meteorite's light blazed intensely. Linde found himself back on the bed in his bedroom. He immediately turned over, feeling himself all around. I am back, thankfully. I'm not missing any limbs, and my little brother is still here. Linde had just breathed a sigh of relief when he was astonished to discover that the purple scar on his chest had almost completely vanished, leaving only a faint mark. So the system has arrived. System brother Tongzi. Only silent darkness responded to Linde. Linde then began to examine the scars on his body. None remained. The right hand that had grasped the meteorite, none. The dantian near his lower abdomen, none. In his mind, it's here. Deep within Linde's mind floated that purple stone. Quietly the stone seemed to have undergone some unknown change. Its surface no longer pitted, but instead angular, resembling a polyhedral structure. System, are you there? As he spoke, Linde squinted and tried to reach it with his minder, rather his spirit, and immediately a flood of information surged into his mind. Halo system activated. Acquiring initial halo. Acquisition successful. Halo activated. Host, please check it yourself. Linde smiled and asked system, do you have a personality? This system is a simple auxiliary system without a personality. Activating personality or additional functions requires a system upgrade. What is required for a system upgrade? Need. Very well, we shall explore it further after leveling up. For now, introduce yourself. This system is a simple halo assistance system. It only provides halo enhancements and does not offer any assistance beyond the halo. The effects and methods methods of obtaining the halo must be checked by the host themselves. With a thought, Linde opened the panel. Host Linde truck Linde. Aura activation. Aura not activated. Senses and enhances the biological activity of all organic life within its range. This is really concise. The panel only has this much. Linde looked closer, and at the very bottom of the panel was a line of small text. A new aura is gained at the start of the first day of each natural year. Linde asked, it's almost the end of the year now, so getting the aura for the first time shouldn't mean I have no aura during my first year, right? No way. This made Linde really happy. The system has no personality, no coercion, no mandatory tasks, no erasing, no tricks, except it feels a bit like a human-computer hybrid. It's basically a model example of a perfect system. So what exactly does the activation aura do? Please explore it yourself, host. Alright, it really can't do anything except the aura, Linde said as he climbed out of bed in one go and moved toward the nearby windowsill. It was still the middle of the night, and the clean, tidy castle was occasionally filled with faint snores, while outside in the corridors patrol soldiers clad in finely crafted armor passed by from time to time. Linde tiptoed to the door, gently pushed it open, and peered down the corridor. The white crystal wall sconces along the corridor cast a soft glow, lighting up the empty hallway. Good, no one's here. Linde closed the door, returned to the center of the room, and sat cross-legged on the floor. Activate aura. As the aura activated, Linde felt a surge of thriving life flow through his body. Closing his eyes, he sensed through the thick walls the sleeping servants downstairs, the plants outside the window resting, birds yawning, soldiers. The feeling stretched all the way to the forest 5 kilometers away before finally fading. This aura just boosts activity a little. It feels like the plants are simply growing faster. Linde glanced at the panel and realized that after activating the aura, he seemed able to control its effective range. So you can actually control the range of effect. Linde began trying to shrink the range, quickly limiting it to within 1 meter around himself. At that moment, Linde was amazed to discover that as the effective range shrank, the enhancement effect grew stronger. In just a few seconds, the withered flowers in the vase on the desk bloomed again as if freshly cut from the branch. Linde continued to shrink the aura's range until it was confined within his own body. As the last bit of it disappeared, Linde felt an unprecedented strength. No strength was an illusion, it was unprecedented health, his body in an extreme peak condition. Linde then picked up the pen from the desk, gritted his teeth, and slashed his palm hard with a sharp SSH. The metal tip of the pen cleanly cut open his palm. As the blood dripped, Linde noticed the wound on his hand healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Within seconds, the wound disappeared as if it had never existed. Linde carefully examined the spot where the wound had been, more precisely where it once was. There wasn't a trace left on the skin, and the pain had lasted only an instant. Only a few drops of blood on the desk could prove what had just happened. The boy then pulled out his chair, sat down at the desk, opened his notebook, and wrote, aura activated, full body enhancement, night vision enabled. Strength, speed, reaction, and impact resistance have all significantly improved. Oh, and endurance has increased a lot too. I was just feeling a bit tired, but now it feels like I've just eaten and I'm fully charged, ready to go. The aura currently covers an area with me at the center, about a 5-kilometer radius. As the range extends, the effect gradually weakens. When fully activated, large creatures barely notice it. Maybe only plants sense it a little. Could be a great tool for farming. Under Linde's control, he turned off the aura, and as it faded away, a wave of exhaustion washed over him. It seems that although his body is full of vitality, the mental fatigue just won't go away. Does it only affect the body? The mental exhaustion remains untouched? Linde lay back on the bed pondering. This aura feels like it's going to be really useful farming in the territory or training soldiers in the castle. Will definitely become much more efficient. If danger arises or it's needed, it can also be directly absorbed back into oneself. After all, this concentrated aura effect is still very powerful. At least it'll give a huge boost to individual strength. With the arrival of the golden finger, Linde was filled with beautiful visions of the future. The moonlight was bright like a waterfall or a curtain as the boy fell asleep dreaming of the future. No one knew what kind of shocking waves the soul from another world would stir up in this world. Chapter 3: The Horse and the Old Drunkard. Early in the morning, Linde got up bright and early, attended by several maids, finished washing and dressing, then stood in front of a floor-to-ceiling mirror taller than himself. It must be said Linde took great care of his physique. Well proportioned, muscular, with fair flawless skin, Linde ran his fingers through his thick messy black hair and murmured, "It just grew a little." Most nobles in the Kree Empire have brown hair, some curly, some long. Their truck family and a few closely related noble families nearby have black hair, earning them the nickname black-haired counts in the region. "Young master, breakfast is ready." The old butler's words interrupted Linde's thoughts. Linde turned and said, "Send it up, I'll have breakfast in my room today." The old butler was named Sass. He had served the count's family for over 40 years. Having grown up in the mansion as a servant, he worked diligently and eventually became the butler many years later. He was already over 70, and according to Linde's memory, he still held great respect for the old butler. They privately addressed each other like uncle and nephew. "All right, you'll have them send it up right away." The old butler said nothing and turned to instruct the other servants. At that moment, Linde called out to him, "Uncle Sass, please help me prepare the horse. I'm planning to go to the city for a walk and buy some things." The old butler nodded. nodded in response. "I'll give the order right away." As the wooden door closed behind him, Linde let out a sigh of relief. "That was close, I almost forgot." Linde stared at the still wet bloodstains on the table, picked up the face towel the servant had just brought, wiped off the bloodstains, and then tucked the towel into the small pouch at his waist, planning to dispose of it outside later. Soon several maids swiftly brought over the meal, yellow bread thickly spread with honey. This bread was made from refined wheat flour mixed with freshly churned butter and baked, then served with fresh berry jam. It tasted pretty good aside from the slightly coarse texture, probably because the wheat flour wasn't ground as finely as it is now. You couldn't really expect much finesse in texture in a fantasy medieval setting like this. "Next time let's try some modern dishes. Doing it like this all the time is just too monotonous." Linde complained that even after awakening his memories he was still somewhat dissatisfied with these somewhat crude ancient foods, not because of the taste but because the way the food was prepared was a bit rough. Finally, with half a glass of wine, Linde ate his fill. The wine had a very low alcohol content, tasting like grape juice mixed with beer, leaving him feeling just a bit clear-headed. This is truly extravagant. Linde thought that although the living standards of commoners in this world aren't as grim as those in the Middle Ages, they're just a bit better, just enough to avoid being gaunt and pale from hunger. Most lower-class people still eat staple foods similar to the dark bread of the Middle Ages, but there are many vegetable-based side dishes adding some variety. "Sir, the horses are ready."